Good evening, everyone. Welcome into Vol Society Live on this Tuesday night. My name is David Morrison from the Vol Society, here to bring you another episode of Vol Society Live. It's Checker Neyland week. The Texas A&M Aggies coming into town this Saturday, 3:30 on CBS. I can't wait for this game. I will be live at the game Saturday. And look forward to seeing everyone up there. If you come across me this Saturday, stop by, say hello. I'll be walking around up there outside Neyland Stadium, representing Ball Society. I am in the white section, so I'll be in all white, if you will. So it should be a lot of fun. Also, happy opening night hockey season as the Nashville Predators, my Nashville Predators right now playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. There's a minute 38 to go in the third period. And just like last year, the Predators are trailing. Some things never change. But anyways, shout out to Phil watching us tonight. Just go ahead and be like Phil. The chat room is open. Leave your comments, your questions. This is your show. This is not just my show. Our founder Brad is in the chat room now. Says Pred's not going to win. No, not at all. But go Vols indeed. And hello to my grandparents watching along. Also, big Nashville Predator fans themselves. Yeah, bro. It's just kind of like last year. Just terrible penalties and um, terrible penalties and power play is awful, and our penalty kill is awful too. But anyways, and he says go Blackhawks. Cole watching us, giving some orange emojis on Facebook, and also give our first shout out on Facebook to Keith and Renee. I hope I said that right. Thank you for watching along. All right, we're not going to talk about hockey. We're going to talk about Tennessee and Texas A&M. Kevin watching us along. What's up, buddy? Hey, what's up to you, bud? Glad you joined us here tonight. So, anyways, Tennessee taking on Texas A&M. I got my notes here. Like I said, even though I'm going to be reading notes and some stats, this is part of your show. Uh, like I said, leave your comments and your questions. About to read Phil's question right now. He says, "How healthy is our team?" Uh, as far as I know, everything is good to go. Like, I still haven't heard anything about Thornton if he's going to play on Saturday. I just looked up Keenan Peely. Seems like Peely, no news from him. But right now it seems like Elijah Heron is doing a great job, kind of filling that void. He's right now second on the team in tackles. Um, but and obviously with Brew out, um, just a terrible injury with him. It's just like I said, we're going to really break down this team. Like I said, we've had a week off, and as far as I know, like the ones, as far as like had the minor injuries goes, I haven't heard anything, some setbacks. But as far as the ones we know that's going to be out there are still out. So hopefully that answers that. Big game Saturday from Brad and Keith says go Vols. So yeah, go Vols indeed. All right, so Tennessee, Texas A&M. Like I said, big game for both teams this Saturday. Texas A&M coming off the loss last Saturday to Alabama. Close game, but Alabama got the win. Jalen Milroe probably played his best game all season. So kind of some news and notes to watch out for on Saturday. Obviously, Texas A&M still working out Max Johnson at quarterback. This will be his third start, replacing Connor Wagman, who went out in the Auburn game with a foot injury, done for the year. This will be Max Johnson's first road game, even though I guess the Arkansas game in Dallas is technically a road game, but first true road game he's going to face. So we need that Checker Neyland crowd to really cause havoc on this, really cause havoc for Max Johnson and disrupt that offense in general. But right now on the year, 675 yards, uh, 7 touchdowns, which is really good for filling in, and a couple of interceptions. QBR at 68.8. As far as the running backs go, uh, Le'Veon Moss leading the way for Texas A&M at 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. Second leading rusher is Amari Daniels with 287 yards. But the last 2 games, he has not had the best games in his Aggie run. Against Alabama, it was just 4 carries for 17 yards. And then against Arkansas, he had 10 carries for 36 yards. So seems like they're now kind of leaning heavy on Moss. Moss, I know, went over 100 yards against Texas A&M on or a couple weeks ago, or excuse me, went over 100 yards against Arkansas a couple weeks ago. Kind of clear that up. Probably their most explosive player is Aeneas Smith, wide receiver. He's already got 26 catches, 431 yards. Surprisingly, doesn't have any touchdowns on offense. That really surprised me looking those numbers up. He returns punts, and he's kind of similar to D. Williams. It seems like when he retrieves punts, you kind of have to hold your breath to make sure he catches it. He has coughed some up, and I think the last couple of games he's dropped the punt, but he's picked it up and ran it for good chunky yardage. So Tennessee special teams going to have to really watch out for him as far as possible turnovers and stuff, because he can cough it up on punt returns. And I think this is going to be a real crucial game as far as field position goes. And when we dive deep into the defensive stats, so it's going to really pay dividends. But a couple other guys to kind of watch out for: Jack Johnson, the tight end. He's got a couple of TDs in the last 3 games for Texas A&M. Seems like they're really relying on him. And then Evan Stewart, an wide receiver for Texas A&M, averaging over 18 yards per catch in conference play. So definitely something to watch out for going forward. And what's your thoughts on the games or on this game? Like I said, continue to leave your comments and your questions on it. Like I said, I think this is a huge game right here. It's really a battle of two defenses, in my opinion. I mean, go ahead and kind of jump ahead a little bit in my notes, looking at the defensive stats here. And by the way, Tampa Bay Lightning just won 5-3 over the Predators, so we're done watching that. Anyways, so as far as like the defenses go, Texas A&M's defense is really good, averaging only 84 yards per carry. Or 84 yards. Or their rushing defense is only giving up 84 yards a game, and they're only giving up 184 yards passing per game, so 268 in general. If you compare it to Tennessee, our defense giving up 192 through the air, 115 on the ground for 307. So this is a huge game for Josh Heupel to try to find a way to contain this defense. I know it seems like a lot of people focuses on Bobby Petrino and this offense, and they've done really good so far. They're averaging 419 yards per game, but the defense is what's really keeping Texas A&M in a lot of these games here. Kevin says here his score prediction 35-0 Tennessee, so he's going with the shutout in this one, and I'll kind of give that my prediction here in just a moment. Go back to the shout outs. Shout out to Donna, Bradley, Danielle, my dad, leaving us a like on the Facebook page. But yeah, definitely going to be Kevin's one. Why it's a huge game? I just think it's just looking at this Texas A&M defense, Kevin. Like I said, I think Joe Milton is going to have to really contain it. And he says we got this. I think we do too. I just think this is going to be just trying to just contain this defense. This Texas A&M defense is going to have to really get going here. We hadn't really seen A&M play too much of a high tempo offense, so I think that can be an advantage. But like I said, just giving up, they're only giving up 84 yards on the ground. And if you look at our running backs right now, and matter of fact, this is your stat of the week so far. Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Dylan Sampson, on the year has rushed for an even 1,000 yards on the season so far. Jalen Wright 435, Jabari Small 317, Dylan Sampson 248, and even 1,000. That is very impressive. And they've already got 9 touchdowns. But I think those 3 guys are going to have to really get going and going to have to really watch out kind of for this defense. And I think Milton, this could be a big game for him. Let's see here. Going back to your comments, Phil says our defense just going to have to step up more. I think so too. Definitely, I think a little bit in the secondary. I want to see. I think we got a really good shot of like really containing Max Johnson. If we continue to bring pressure like we did with Spencer Rattler 2 weeks ago, then we're definitely in it. Let's see here. Keith says Milton's due for a breakout game. I hope and thinks he will surprise the ESPN, CBS, and the critics and the Vol haters. Offense is going to click. And I think so too. like I said, I just very interesting to see how they do against this Aggie defense. Kevin says we will do better on the ground, and he agreed. Okay. I think so. I would love to see Milton have a breakout game. But just kind of looking at the A&M guys just here, uh, quite interesting to see. This will also be Walter Nolan's first game back. Former Knoxville High School player, played at Powell and went to Texas A&M, so returning back. So interesting to see that. But looking at Tennessee stats so far for the year, uh, after the bye week, Joe Milton right now 1,164 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 63% completion percentage. I already mentioned the running backs off Wright, Small, and Sampson now at 1,000 yards and even 1,000 yards for 9 total touchdowns. The wide receivers, um, Squirrel White, 26 catches, 276 yards, no touchdowns on the year. Brad's wondering about score predictions, and let's hear them. Let's see here. And then Jason says Milton hasn't had a 300-yard passing game yet this year. This game he needs to deliver. Definitely so. And we talked about this after the South Carolina game on the Last Ball Society about who's going to step up for Brew McCoy. And now we've had this bye week and some extra practices. I'm very interested to see who's going to take that void. Mitchell Squirrel, 26 catches. He has no touchdown so far this year. I think he's due for one very soon, probably this Saturday. Keaton, can Keaton step up? 14 catches, 230. 230 yards catching, 3 touchdowns. The Callan Castles, Jacob Warren. I think they're really executing their tight ends a lot better, especially in the red zone. I've been kind of calling that for the last year, and it seems like they're finally delivering somewhat. And then of course Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimron, we saw them play in the last game too. So definitely going to be interesting to see. And for those that are curious, Brew McCoy did finish with 17 catches, 217 yards, and 1 touchdown. Let's see here. Keith's saying 48-16 Vols. Kevin said 35-0 Tennessee for his score prediction. I guess I'll go ahead and give you mine. I already typed it up down here. So here's who I'm going with. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I want to see a blowout, but I think Tennessee's going to win this one 29-23. I think it's going to come down to field positions. I think it's going to come down to turnovers. Like I said, I think this Neyland Stadium crowd's going to be rocking and rolling throughout the whole game. No surprise in there. I think the Aggies will kind of move the ball a little bit, even with Max Johnson. But I think it's going to come down to just kind of a grinded out game and just a battle for 4 quarters. But I'm going to go 29-23. Keith said, did Coach Hive say Thornton will be back? I didn't get to hear his press conference there, Keith. I'll go ahead and kind of look that up. Meant to look that up before I went on the air here. Let's see here. I'm sorry for Dante Thornton. So, and if anybody knows, you can help me out here. If I remember how to spell his name right, that would be a big help. Seems like I heard this or dreamed it. Okay. Okay. I think I found something here. He just mentioned, so A to Z Sports says he mentions possible new plans for him. And he was listed as a backup to Squirrel White on the depth chart. So, yeah, I mean, if he is going to play, he's going to have to kind of step up in the absence of Brew McCoy. I mean, I think Thornton is way too talented to just kind of be doing nothing, but he's going to have to contribute himself. He has dropped some passes, so definitely so. Jason says it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage, play on both sides. Whichever team wins the trenches, they more likely will win. Yeah, definitely so. And like I said, kind of I think it's really going to come down to that. It's going to be just a kind of a physical game, I believe. I think a lot of people kind of expecting somewhere in the high 30s. I mean, I think the over under is like 55. So I think it's just going to be kind of a just a grinded out game, and like I said, kind of a must win game for both teams. Obviously, Tennessee 4-1 and comfortable at 4-1, but you know, uh, obviously the Vols want to get some momentum going into that Alabama game. Uh, you hate to be 4-2 after this week and then going down to Tuscaloosa. And meanwhile for Texas A&M, they're 4-2 right now, and uh, already had the loss to Bama, and then they already had that loss to Miami, which now they're probably kicking about losing that game to Miami. Uh, so obviously, this is a huge game for Jimbo and for himself. I don't think he'll be on the hot seat if he loses this game, but I think definitely try to pick up a big road win against a top 20 opponent. But that's why I'm going with 29-23. Any other comments or questions? Like I said, we're here an hour every night. Like I said, continue your score predictions. I don't think I read Phil's. I apologize, Phil. Phil said 35, Tennessee, Texas A&M 17 for his score prediction on Saturday. But yeah, keep those coming. Trying to see if there's anything else I can talk about. As far as Tennessee defense goes, I mean, I really love what our team is doing on the defensive line. The sack total is crazy. James Pierce Jr. already 5 sacks on the year. Tyler Barron 4 sacks on the year. Karat Garland 2. Joshua Joseph's 2 sacks. I mean, just on and on and on. Aaron Beasley. Jason going 27-21 Tennessee for his score prediction on Saturday. Yeah, I'm really loving this Tennessee defense, and it's just uh, the key says I like your show for Facebook, very professional. Thank you, I guess. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's just I just really loving this Tennessee defense in general for the most part. Um, but like I said, any other questions or comments? Who do you think is going to be kind of the impact players in this game? Like I said, it seems like we're kind of getting some blown out scores here, and that'd be great. Like I said, I'll be up there on Saturday uh, coming up. Like I said, I will be way high up there. Um, Kind of a slow night here. Anyway, so let's kind of look at see here. I'm trying to figure out what we can look up here. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's see. Keith saying D. Williams, Aaron Beasley, and Carter for his impact players on Saturday. Like, yeah, I think D. Williams can be a big part, especially in the special teams. Uh, Aaron Beasley, obviously, 33 tackles on the year, 2 sacks, 3 pass deflections. He's just been kind of everywhere. I really like what they're kind of using him. Just lined up as safety, lined up as corner linebacker, just kind of using them everywhere. Not necessarily just at middle linebacker. And I think, like I said, I think his leadership really kind of stepped up against South Carolina um, this past week. Pull some more stats here. But anyways, for those that are curious, ESPN does give us a 56.7% chance of winning this game coming up on Saturday. So pretty, so kind of take it for what it is. Also, do you think, and obviously I don't expect Nico to play much in this game on Saturday. I know we're going to have somebody ask me that. I don't expect Nico to play in this game coming up on Saturday. Um, but yeah, I think for the most part, like I said, it's just going to be kind of a grinded out game, and like I said, just find a way to see if we can get our tempo going against this tough Texas A&M defense for the most part. Give a shout out to Charles Campbell, our kicker on the year. So far, 7 for 8 on field goals. It's his longest so far. His longest so far has been a 42-yarder. So, he's really contributed very well as far as kicking goes, coming in from Indiana. Feeling really been a nice replacement for Chase McGrath, as he ran out of eligibility. But Campbell's done a great job. I think Jackson Ross has really improved on the punting. I know it was very hesitant those first couple of games, and some people were calling for him, but he finally kind of settled in. It seems like he's, gotten a nice groove here as far as um, punting goes. But that's really kind of just, like I said, this is just a big game. Like I said, I'll go ahead and ask this, who's all going to the game on Saturday? Like I said, if you're going there, uh, are you in the orange section or the white section? Although it is checkerboard. So, um, like I said, I will be in the white section on Saturday. This is the fourth home game. So I've been so far to all the home games on the year. Of course, all three of us were at the South Carolina game the week before, and had a great time up there. Our founder Brad was up there, and Dees was up there. Pretty much the whole podcast crew, and I know Brad ran into Eric Ainge, and had a good meet up with him there, and tailgate all day. And Dees and we went up a little bit later. But like I said, it's just going to be me this Saturday going up there. And then, as far as Texas A&M goes, this is one of the teams I have never seen live or play live uh, in the SEC per se. I'm trying to see all the SEC teams play live. I still haven't saw Auburn play, and obviously Texas and Oklahoma joining, so I'll have to find a way to see them. I have seen them play Texas in basketball, but not much for football. Like I said, if you're going up there, definitely look for me up there. Um, should be a lot of fun. But keep coming those comments and questions. Like I said, this is your show. I feel like I've been rambling on a lot. Give a couple more shout outs here. If I can move my mouse right. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Natalie. What's up, Natalie? Shout out to James, leaving us a like. And James leaving us a laughing emoji or a laughing reaction. It's all good. Yeah, definitely a big game coming up as far as implications go. I just think, like I said, our crowd's going to have to really be involved. Limit turnovers. I think contain Max Johnson, his first true road game on the year. The running attack for Texas A&M, I think we can handle. I think we can bring pressure to Max Johnson. It's just we're going to have to contain them on third down. A&M's a better third down team than us, averaging like 46% on third down. I think we're like 43%, so we're not too far behind, but still enough to cause a little, I won't say cause concern, but definitely to kind of keep an eye out on. But like I said, going to have to get off the field on third down with this team and just continue to roll. Greg watching this, he says Nimrod and Webb expected to fill Brew's role. I think so. Like I said, I think a lot of people is going to have to really fill in, but this is a great opportunity for Nimrod and Webb to like I said, obviously fill that role and to get some playing time. We've seen Caleb Webb a little bit before Brew's injury, and then obviously when Brew went down, we saw him play, most of the second half after the injury. Of course, I think Brew got hurt in the second quarter. So, so definitely a good opportunity for these young wide receivers. Greg Cox says should be able to crank the passing game up. I think so too. And I thought Joe looked really comfortable as far as in the last game. I mentioned this already. With Cooper Mays coming back, I thought the offense was clicking on all cylinders. obviously South Carolina's secondary is not that great. You're taking on a better secondary, I think, in my opinion, with Texas A&M, but can be containable. But definitely going to have to see. I'm interested to see really our offensive line really contain Texas A&M's defensive line, very similar to ours. Kind of looking at where is their right down here on the bottom. Yeah, uh, you look at like Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker for Texas A&M, 41 tackles on the year, 21 solos, 6 sacks for the linebacker. So I mean that's like all American numbers right there. Um, Walter Nolan, we mentioned him a little bit. He's already got 4 sacks on the year. Shamar Turner, 3.5 sacks. I think gonna have to find a way to really contain these guys and not get called for holding. I think penalties are going to be a big thing. Don't hold. Obviously, it's kind of easier said than done, but I think that's going to be kind of a real key factor there. But many others. Greg was wondering, did we get Peely back? I looked that up, Greg, before we went on the air. I didn't see any news on Peely. Everything is still from when he went out. So doesn't look like doesn't look like he is coming back for this game. Kind of a little surprising, but same time, Elijah Herron has really done a fairly good job. I mean, he had a great game against South Carolina. Right now, he's second in the team in tackles behind Aaron Beasley. So, while there was some concern at middle linebacker early on, I think it's kind of settled down nicely. Arian Carter's also done a great job. I haven't mentioned him tonight. He's done a good job filling that void too. So while you do miss a little bit of that leadership with Peely and experience, you're kind of making it up a little bit with production with those guys. But any other comments, questions, score predictions for Saturday? Anybody going up to the game? All cool. Shout out to Connie living us alike. But as far as like what I think goes, Greg, kind of, I think it's going to be kind of just a grinded out game. I think it's going to come down to just field position in general. I think Tennessee's going to win 29-23. I think that's what I said the score was. Yeah, 29-23. And he says QBs have had their best game against this defensive backfield. Yeah, we mentioned Jalen Milroe had a great game last Saturday. Um, yeah, and hopefully, like I said, Joe Milton can have that breakout performance too. I know they contained KJ Jefferson very well. Well, Tyler Van Dyke, when they lost to Miami, I mean, he went off in that game, and after Saturday, it looks like an afterthought. Phil says, I think Joe Milton needs to run the ball some, turn them Jets on. Yeah, I agree. And Eric Berry is supposed to be there, isn't he? Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, Phil. Eric Berry will be at Neyland Stadium Saturday. Eric Berry, excuse me, one of the inductees to the College Football Hall of Fame. I believe it's in December. So he is getting his College Football Hall of Fame plaque on Saturday in front of the crowd. So, yeah, glad you mentioned that. Eric Berry will be honored during the game going into the College Football Hall of Fame. So, congratulations to Eric Berry on that. I think the second Vol in 3 years is going in the Hall of Fame. 2 years ago, Al Wilson went in, and now Eric Berry joining him along with many other Vols in there. And then Greg says 34-20 is the score. I guess he's going Tennessee in that department. So 34-20 for Greg on Saturday. And it may turn out to be that way. I have to raise my score up a little bit, but it should be a fun game. Like I said, now we're kind of getting into the heart of the schedule. Obviously, Tennessee got that win against South Carolina. I ended up picking us to lose against South Carolina. Thank goodness I was wrong in that one. I think, like I said, we get Texas A&M, and then we go to Alabama, and then another tough road game at the end of October against Kentucky. Although, Kentucky just kind of got exposed by Georgia pretty badly. So I feel a little bit more confident taking on Kentucky, but it is on the road. So we'll see what happens there. Um, but but it should be a lot of fun. This is the first time Tennessee and Texas A&M has faced, unless you want to count the COVID year. Uh, but they met in 2016 down in College Station, which the Aggies won in, I think it was like double overtime or whatever. So back and forth game in that one. Gregory says, "Evening, David and all. Good evening to you there, Gregory. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Let's see. We need to take some money up for poor old Stoops. Yeah, poor Mark. And I just read yesterday he's in contendership for the Michigan State job, so he can take it. It's just so funny. Like, I mean, yes, Mark Stoops, I'll give him credit, has had better success as the Kentucky head coach than previous coaches. Maybe unlike the likes of like a Rick Brooks, but it's so funny. Like, he gets all these mentions for these vacancies, and like he never really wins the big one. He never had really. I mean, he's only beat us like once or twice. Yeah, he's got some wins over Florida. Never really beats Georgia. Never got to Atlanta. I mean, it's just like, okay, what are you? Okay, what are you? What are you trying to look into as far as the coach? Gregory says, "Thanks. Hard to catch y'all live. That's all right. I'm glad you're here. We go live each and every night, or each and every night. Well, we go live each and every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. Uh, on our Boss Society Facebook page. This is your show to sound off and say if I'm right or wrong or whatever. And like I said, I just kind of direct traffic over here. Um, but like I said, we got a good turnout so far. Like I said, keep those score predictions coming and everything. I don't wonder where our founder went. Brad was in here. He may be watching that Blackhawks game. As he said, go Blackhawks. Oh, goodness. He's watching the debut of Connor Bernard. Oh, again, I never know anything about Brad anymore. Anyways, just kidding. Like I said, I asked you if Gregory's still on here. What do you think about our chances on Saturday? Your score prediction. Like I said, we got Greg 34-20. Jason said 27-21. Greg, you're wondering if anyone knows if Peely is back for Saturday. I looked it up before we went on the air, Gregory, and no news out of Peely. Everything's still kind of, just sounds like he's not going to play. No updates from Heupel or anything. So, fortunately, nothing. And I'm be interested to see what Thornton will do. It seems like Thornton may be doing. He may be back back in the lineup somehow. Phil says you and Vol Society do a great job. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. Greg says, I look for us to bring the same pressure against Johnson as we did Rattler. I think so. This is his first true road game. He's filling in for Connor Weigman, who's out with a foot injury, got hurt against Auburn. I hope we do. I think he's containable. It's just going to be interesting to see is Tim Banks going to do that, bring that pressure. And Gregory says his prediction is 45-20. Connie says, I think this will be a low scoring game with the balls on top. And Gregory agrees with the other Greg, Greg Cox, about bringing the pressure against Rattler. Yeah, I think Connie, going back to yours, I think it's going to be kind of a low scoring compared to kind of previous games. I want to see can Heupel really win in a grinded out game. I mean, we've kind of seen him do that before. I think just like I said, winning a game in the trenches is going to be very interesting to see who can win it, especially two offensive mind coaches and Josh Heupel, and then I guess Jimbo too. But Jimbo's won some grinded out games. But Bobby Petrino, the offensive coordinator, is at Texas A&M. He's been everywhere, Louisville, Atlanta Falcons, Arkansas, Western Kentucky. Seems like he's had every head coaching job in America for the most part, except for Tennessee. It's going to be interesting to see how these two offensive-minded coaches who loves a lot the scoreboard, can they maybe win it in a grinded out game? But we'll see. And then, as far as Gregory goes, bringing the pressure to Max Johnson, compared to we did for Spencer Rattler. Trying to think, I've read somewhere. Maybe it wasn't Max Johnson. It was the UCLA quarterback. I read he's been sacked 14 times this year, so I don't think we're going to meet him. Gregory says if we can run 4 to 5 yards average, we will destroy. Yeah, great point. Like I said, I think this offense does need to get clicking in this game too. That'd be really huge. Like I said, Texas A&M is only gave up 84 yards on the ground. I mean, they got a really good defensive line. This fall's offensive line is going to have to really open up holes to get that. I think, like I said, Milton's going to be a big part of it too. Um, you know, d- you know, I think Milton can get maybe near 300 if he really executes. But like I said, everything's going to have to really click together to get that. I think it's doable, but I think it's going to be like I said, just going to have everybody's going to have to really execute too, and penalties are going to be a big part of it. Um, Obviously, you're going to have penalties in the game, but like I said, hopefully a lot of the holding calls we will contain and don't hurt ourselves, especially on first down and big explosive play that gets called back for a hold. Very interesting. Of course, you never know what kind of referee you're going to get to, so hopefully you just play a clean game. Any other comments or questions? Tracy says, hopefully it won't be raining during the game. Yeah, I that's true. I did look up the forecast, Tracy. Now, this was earlier this morning. There is a 30% chance of rain, but my weather app on my phone was saying it was going to be early in the morning. So, fingers and toes crossed that it happens early in the morning, and it seems like nothing was happening during the game. But the weather changes, in an instant too. So hopefully hopefully get a better update, at least by Thursday. But right now, it seems like it's going to be early in the morning, like the 6 or 7 a.m. Eastern time. So, but yeah, I don't like sitting in the rain either. Gregory says, who is everyone's pick for a breakout game Saturday? Yeah, so I think I think Milton can be a breakout player. Like I said, especially how Jalen Melrose really broke out against this Texas A&M team. I think he can be a big part. I was trying to think. I think Pierce has really had some big gains, but I think Pierce can be um, a big factor. Elijah Herring, I think, can be another one. I want to see Beasley get an interception. I know it's kind of hard for him as a linebacker, but I think he's capable. And even Kamal Haddon. Kamal Haddon had the pick six last or 2 Saturdays ago. Why not? I think he can do it. Gregor says it's supposed to rain here in Florida every day till Saturday. Yee. It's never fun. Let's see. Greg says, I'm hoping Thornton steps up and is motivated since they are talking Nimrod and Webb in Bruce Row. Yeah. I mean, Thornton has so far kind of been the big disappointment. I really thought he was going to, be that breakout wide receiver. And so far he hasn't and didn't play in the South Carolina game. So hopefully he can have a big second half to the season and contributes. Greg says one of our tight ends will be it. And Gregory is saying, I'm looking for Thornton to be a breakout star. Yeah, I'm really liking the tight ends, Greg Cox, talking to you. So, like I said, I'm happy for Jacob Warren. It seems like he's played a lot better. He's already got a couple touchdowns on the year. I really like them using them in the red zone a little bit more. McCallan Castles has been has been a big surprise, doing really good. Um, just I'm really happy the ties are being used, executed. Oh, Greg's talking about what part of Florida. And Gregory says, I like Warren. Greg Cox is wondering, Gregory Hammond, what part of Florida you're in. Um, if you don't mind answering that. We've got, you know, we do have a lot. He's in Pasco County, Florida. And we got a great Ball Society crew, especially our Tuesday night shows, watching us from not only Tennessee, but like South Carolina and Florida and everywhere else. And Greg Cox is he's in Sarasota County. Nice. So all over the place. Of course, I usually vacation, for those who care, I usually vacation near the Daytona Beach area. I've also vacationed in Destin and Panama City, so that's kind of my Florida connection. Of course, I've been to the amusement parks too. So, really cool. We got Tennessee fans down in Florida. Maybe they're Predators fans too. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding. Any other comments or questions? It says awesome. My employer has an office down there. Cool. But big game coming up Saturday. I think it's a winnable game, most part. I feel confident. Like I said, I just think it's going to come down to, like I said, field position. And I think it's going to be more of a grinded out game. But I have Tennessee winning at 29-23. Greg says, I'm looking for something good happening with Jacob Warren. I think so too. He's been with the program 5 years. He's a local kid, played at Farragut High School, big tight end. So I think it definitely a good guy. I was reading Tracy's comments. And I was trying to remember off the top of my head. Tracy's wondering what the winning percentage when the fans wear the checkerboards. Well, it's not the best. Last year we won it against Florida. I'm trying to remember. I did the I was at the. I've been to. This will be my fourth checkerboard game that I can think of. Went to one of the Georgia ones when we lost. I went to the Ole Miss one. We all know how that turned out. And then the Florida game, we won. So it's not hot. I'll just say that. I know some people kind of hesitant for it, but I think it's manageable. I know a lot of people wanted the checkerboard game against Georgia on the 18th, and I was a little surprised they announced checker kneeling, but kind of from what I've heard from other Vol fans and I guess inside sources, is the weather. They're kind of a little concerned about maybe the temperatures, the colder temperatures may kind of affect a checker kneeling. Now, take it for what it's worth, but they kind of wanted it to. They kind of wanted to do the checker kneeling with the weather being a lot nicer, so they picked this game over the Georgia game. But we didn't do checker kneeling for Bama, and look how it turned out. So, and we did it for Florida, and look how it turned out. So, I think we can be. I think we'll be all right. It's really a cool scene once you see it, especially live. Um, just seeing that orange and white everywhere, it's really cool. Very similar to Penn State's whiteout that they do. Gerger says I like the checker kneeling. I do too, and I know you have some traditional ball fans who's iffy with the checker kneelings and the gimmicks and the different uniforms and some of it. I can totally see your point of view, but I think a lot of it has to do with the team that you're or the 18 to 22 year olds that you're trying to cater, the players. They like the different uniforms. They like the spectacle atmosphere of the game. And yeah, it's different from probably 20, 30 years ago, but like I said, it's just kind of the trend as it is. And if the kids like it, I'm cool with it. I'm not anti like different uniforms and stuff as long as you're winning and it's not too big of a distraction and the players seem to enjoy it. And then it's all good. Greg says we may have something special coming for UGA. And Gregory says, I think we should go all orange for Georgia. That would be really cool, too. like I said, we've already did dark mode with South Carolina. There was a lot of the dark mode jerseys, the black. We were in it too. Um, I mean, that would be cool, like an orange out or white out. Be kind of still in Penn State quite a bit. So I don't know if you can really do a white out. Maybe because Arians owns their checkerboard. I don't know, maybe half orange, half white. Maybe that would be kind of cool. Uh, I don't know. There's only so much you can do with 2 to 3 colors, I guess. I know Ole Miss they did a stripe out with the red and blue. I saw that their game against Arkansas. So who knows? Danny White and they know it. Uh, Danny White and that whole UT crew, they know it a lot better than I do that I can think of, and they do a great job up there. Very cool. But any other comments or questions tonight? Shout out to Marcia leaving us a like on the Facebook page. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the game. Yeah, Phil says if you're truly Vol fans, you'll like anywhere for uniforms they wear. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm fine with that. Even the Lady Vols, I like the Summit Blue that they wear. I know the basketball team wore it last year. The softball team wears it. I think soccer team has already wore it. Volleyball definitely has wore it. By the way, shout out to the volleyball team. We have totally neglected their season, and yeah, it's football season. We're focused on Tennessee football, but shout out to our volleyball team. They're 15-1 on the year. They're in the top 15, maybe top 10. They beat LSU on Sunday, 3-0. They're undefeated in SEC play. Telling you what, they deserve all the flowers right now. So uh, go Lady Vols, go volleyball team, keep it up. Let's continuing to dominate. And like I said, it's another sport we're doing really good with. Danny White and that athletic department is just rolling everywhere and doing a great job. Obviously, we got basketball coming up next month. Uh, yeah, Gregory says, "Heck yeah, go Lady Vols." Yeah, they're doing a great job, and we've neglected them, and we finally gave them praise. Like I said, we got basketball coming up next month. Still trying to find a night to do a basketball preview show for that. I got a little concerns about the men's team, and when we do it, I'll talk about it. But very excited about the Lady Vols team. Love the shirt. Thank you. Yeah, believe the hype. That's the closest like checkerboard thing I can find in my house. I don't have the overall, so that's the closest checkered kneeling thing I've got. Even though I got to wear white on Saturday. But thank you there, David. What's up, Dwayne? Gold Vols. Dwayne, one of our fellow watchers each and every Tuesday night. Excited about this game coming up. Um, any other comments or questions? How do I get one of them shirts? I think I got this at Alumni Hall. I got it as a birthday gift a couple of years ago when Heupel first came, or his first season there, and I think it came from Alumni Hall. There may be still some online on their page, but it's a couple of years old. But hopefully, it's somewhere available on the Alumni Hall. But that's probably your best shot of getting it. But thank you. But any other comments or questions? While everyone's here, also don't forget we didn't do a podcast this week. For those who are kind of wondering, we took the week off. Didn't have a kind of a whole lot to talk about it besides Texas A&M, and we already recapped South Carolina on the last episode. But definitely go back and check out if you haven't listened to the episode. We had the interview with Carlos Lopez. Please go check that episode out. Go give it a listen, download it. Just a great story of Carlos, the Spanish voice of the Vols, Vamos Vols. We've been sharing his stuff on our Facebook page. Um, just a great, great interview, great story he provided to us. He was very kind to us, stayed with us an hour, talked about just his journey from Venezuela to where he is now. Just a great story. Thank you, Gregory. Said absolutely. The podcast was awesome. Appreciate it. If you haven't listened to it, please check that out. He was very generous to us. And like I said, we got some more great stuff coming up on the podcast. Um, still trying to talk to EA if he wants to come back on. I think it may be happening. We'll see. But yeah, the podcast drops also on Tuesdays, usually Tuesday mornings, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Apple, I guess we're still on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, we are. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, just wherever you get them, will be available. And we'll be back on there next week to recap this game and preview Alabama. Anyways, any other comments or questions? If not, I guess we'll go ahead and kind of wrap it on up. Like I said, thank you for tuning in to Ball Society Live. Tailgate Thursday coming up Thursday afternoon at noon. Just a preview of the college football games in general. Pretty big week coming up. Got a lot of interesting games to say the least. That's coming up. Gregory says, I downloaded Spotify particularly for that podcast. Well, thank you, Gregory. Appreciate that. That really tickles us there. But yeah, we got Tailgate Thursday on Thursday. I'm doing a quick college football preview, about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, just kind of previewing the games. And then our game on Saturday, 3:30 on CBS, Brad and Gary on the call. And then next week's schedule, we will have the podcast back out Tuesday morning. We'll have Josh Heupel's press conference for the Alabama game. And then Vol Society Live next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 Central. I got a lot going on, a lot of busy stuff going on in sports. Obviously, Tennessee football. Got hockey going on tonight. Baseball playoffs, go Braves. Tied 1-1 against the Phillies. Big game last night. Austin Riley, big home run to seal it up. Just a busy time in sports. If you're a sports fan, you're gobbling up whatever you watch or listen to, or follow along. You're enjoying it too. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully, we provide some information and some entertainment to you. And appreciate Vol Society continuing to grow each and every day. And thank you, fans, just for letting us still do this show. And Craig said, I'll try to find y'all Saturday at the game, David. All right, appreciate it. I'll be, like I said, I'll be trying to. I figured out how to do the stories again, so I'll be providing some exclusive Facebook stories on the Ball Society Facebook page. Some exclusive content, if you will. So definitely follow along, kind of throughout my day and journey. And like I said, the Wi-Fi's better, so we can do more. Thank you, Danny White, to that one. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up. We'll talk to y'all next Tuesday night for more Ball Society Live. Continue to follow the Facebook page. We got more stuff coming along throughout the week. And let's go beat Texas A&M on Saturday. Have a great night, folks. Be kind to each other. Spread love. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Have a great week. Go Vols.